Hello and welcome to another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. I am your host, Jose on the mic, and with me as always is the lovely, amazing dancer May. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm very excited about our guest here.
We have the lovely Nadia is with us here, and we are all enjoying Emerald Ball, 30th anniversary. Wayne and Donna are doing a fabulous job here. I promise you, you want for nothing. I've cruised the entire floors around here. It's full, top to bottom with dancers. This place is electric.
And the Dance Congress, and you just taught a session.
I actually did two sessions
today.
Two
sessions.
Yeah, because
Don't shortchange her.
One of the one of the instructors actually she twisted her knee. So
Ooh.
yeah, so she twisted it while being here on Monday. So kind of last minute step in.
Yes.
Oh, right on.
Mm-hmm.
What a friend.
Well, that's what happens. We dancers help each other out.
That's
I hope
right.
she's doing fine.
Yeah, she's good. She's judging.
Oh, I could.
Yeah, Elena. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, so what kind of dog do you have?
I have three dogs. Let's get to the important stuff.
That's
right.
right.
I know.
Here's where the rubber meets the road, people.
That's right.
Let's talk about the
Dog
dogs.
person.
I'm a dog person. Yes, I have 3 rescues, and they're all some kind of a terrier mix. They're just
Nice.
3 different personalities, just cute and
So you get to live in their world. They're
Oh.
terriers.
yeah, and keep me busy. But they're wonderful. I love them. And I'm ready for more.
You want more.
Oh, I would be. Yeah,
You would be the dog lady in the neighborhood. That
if
sort of.
Dog whisperer.
Did not live in the city of LA. I need to live in a community that's okay for more dogs. But
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big dog lover. Big as in a big dog. I normally have big dogs. I had
Do
a
you?
Mastiff before, and I have.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When you're downsizing when you go from
Yes, I am. I've downsized. That's why there's 3 of them. But
when you have a Mastiff.
oh, gorgeous! I just
Beautiful animals.
Oh yeah.
Big
my
teddy
heart.
bears.
Big babies.
That's a big lap dog is what it is.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh! And the bigger they are, the dopier they are.
Yeah, they are.
I know. The more they just touch you, and oh yeah.
Look at the
So
look
what
on
I
her face.
love to see. This is the important things to know.
I
This is
know.
this is the
Yes.
important thing to know.
Yes, everybody should get a rescue. There's
Oh, definitely.
far too many dogs that are homeless. But anyway, there's a fantastic organization based out of Houston called Rescue Pet Mission, and I just did
I
was
heard
there-
about them.
I was there last week, and I did in the morning a very quick little volunteer gig because
Yeah.
I was there to judge.
Uh-huh.
But what they do is they take the dogs that are on the euthanasia list at the pound
Wow.
in different parts of Houston, and they'll take the dogs and they will adopt them out. But in Colorado, because apparently Colorado is one of a few states that don't have enough shelter dogs to meet the demand. So
Wow.
Really?
I was at a transport event, and what it was the fosters bring the dogs, and the dogs are already adopted out, pre-adopted, right? And so they get checked through, they get the picture taken, they get the little tags on, and then they get put in the van, and they have like 6 vans that have at least 12 to 15 crates in them, and they drive from Houston into Colorado. It's a 24-hour trip, and then the dogs are put in their new homes.
How
It
cool is that?
fantastic. Okay, so the last dog that I encountered on that little project there was this big, gorgeous Mastiff. And somebody had found him walking the streets, roaming the streets.
Aw.
So clearly someone just let him go. But
Yeah.
I thought, that dog
That's what I don't understand.
should come to me.
Oh.
He should be with me. He should be with me. But it's a fantastic
Say the organization again.
Rescue Pet Mission.
We'll make sure to scroll
is
that. Yeah.
terrific.
Rescue Pet Mission.
Rescue Pet Mission, and they're doing a wonderful job. This is what should be happening with dogs, that they should be,
Yeah.
that places should be facilitating the movement of dogs to places where they're wanted and needed. not just being euthanized.
Yes.
I did not
And
know
by
this
the way,
about Colorado, though.
I know.
Yeah, Colorado.
How about that?
I know. So Houston has this connection to Colorado, and there are other states that I think Idaho and maybe Iowa, the perhaps more northern Midwest states, are places where they are welcoming dogs from.
I love that.
How about that?
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. So let's talk about 2 other dog things because this is important.
This is super
This
important.
is super important.
Headache
okay?
gone.
Headache
Getting
gone.
a lot. Yeah, get the energy up. Okay, dog talk.
Emerald Ball is a dog-friendly competition.
It is.
This Hilton
Yes.
LAX, there are so many dogs here, so that's really cool.
That's very nice.
And if you want to get a hold of Nadia, you have to find her on Facebook.
That's right.
The dog picture.
Well, yes, on Facebook, because I have a page from my studio, but I no longer have the studio. But what I do have is the second page, which has a big, the face of this big, lovable mastiff right there, and that is my personal page.
So that's how we know how to get a hold of you.
Yes.
So, what things? If someone say, "Oh, what do I go to Nadia for in terms of dancing specialty?" What kind of things do you like to focus on?
I like
The second important thing we're talking about
I
is
know.
dancing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll go there. All right. I guess my thing that I really enjoy in dance has to do with helping people learn to have more energy in their dance. Bring it alive. Today I did the topic of breathing in movement because breath. And
so important.
Well, it is. It's so important because it integrates everything. It forces you to be very present to the moment. And there are many people in the class today that are also musicians or have other disciplines that they have studied, and they understand immediately as soon as martial arts. There was a martial artist in there. Immediately, as soon as you start talking about breath,
they're like, "Why didn't I think of that?"
Well, yes, and to me, it's so. Unfortunately, I think, and it's so obvious. It is.
You can't hold your breath for a minute and a half.
That's right. But they do.
They do. They're shallow breathing,
but it's also because they get so caught up in the information, in the theory, and all the information they have in their head, and I don't know. Somehow it just doesn't seem to find its way below the neck. It just doesn't get down there into the body. They know. Oh, I know that. I know that. I heard that. Yeah, I know that. I get it, is what they say. Everybody's saying.
Okay, you get it. Now use it.
Yeah, but do it.
Yeah, use it.
Do it.
So what do you say about the breathing?
Well, it's about first understanding there are different cycles of breathing and the depth of the breath, right? So we want to use.
Do you do Pilates?
I don't. I don't.
Have you heard of the percussive breathing?
I haven't.
That might be interesting.
But
Ron
actually,
Fletcher, Pilates, percussive breathing.
Okay, I have done some personal training where I've worked on breath in other, just in other areas, like, for example, personal training and touching on the breathing. I haven't done it in Pilates, but even in my own training many years ago, this was such a big deal. Because as a child, I would hold my breath, right, as I was dancing, and I would always cramp up and have to walk off the floor in the jive. And there was a doctor who would come over, and he used to say to my mom, "She's not breathing. She's not breathing." And my mother would look at him like he's nuts. Of course, my daughter's breathing.
No, she's not.
She didn't understand, and he didn't elaborate to explain what I needed.
Yeah,
but. Because stamina in my early days was a big issue, and so I don't even know how it came about, but
interesting.
We did have to integrate a lot of breath work in our dance to help us to sustain us.
So I think I interrupted your train of thought. So I'm sorry. So go back to the class and the breathing.
Today it was really about helping people understand a steady breath cycle and then changes. A quick sudden inhale followed by a slow exhale, or or a slow, steady inhale followed by a strong exhale. And the purpose of it is really to create highlights and more accents in the dancing. It's not about being used on every bar. And it's really about taking a section that you think, oh, I really want this section to stand out. And so I'll use breath and the energy, the dynamic change of energy to make this stand out, and then followed by something just more even. Energetically it's more steady, it's rhythmically more steady.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, because
but it makes a total sense.
it does, but it has to be that way, because in every other art form, or okay, let's talk about music. I gave them the example about, well, I can play chopsticks on the piano, right? I can play chopsticks, and if you heard me, simply playing chopsticks. But if you were to take one of the great pianists, you would hear ta 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 ta, and there would be this whole anticipation.
What's coming next?
And then they go, yes, and it's in that silent moment, in that preparation that it's breathtaking. You're in anticipation. And that is what we are hoping to create, help our students, our dancers create truly exciting performances. But when they approach their dancing and they're purely focusing on movement, it's all about my straight leg, my bent knee, my hip, my this. You stand there and go, you can only look at a straight leg so much. You're right. There's only so far the movement will take you, and they forget to see the big picture about the complete performance.
And judges are people, and people are audience. So you've got to entertain your audience.
Well, the judges are also dancers too, right? So we've been there, done it. And
so if someone's breathing is just like this, it can be as an
example.
example.
The breath is meant to, I was using breath to help them free up the body, just to simply free the body. And
that seems to be the theme this week.
I don't know.
Yes. We've been talking to a lot of
different ways to free the body. Yours is breath. Someone else's, how they're moving, things to avoid, things, mind.
Get out of your way.
Free the body.
Yeah, free the body. But
I love that your breath, though. I think that's probably forgotten a lot of times.
It is, and you can see it because you just stand there. For example, I stand there and I watch, and I zero in on that diaphragm, and I just wait for those ribs to move. And what do I see? I see arms. They're waving at me. Don't wave at me. And I think, well, you can keep waving, but let's see that body move. Let's see the release. It's because the eye is trained. We know what we're waiting to follow the movement. If the head goes down, we want to see that the body has initiated it. Or if their arm's stretching up, well, what has the body done to create the stretched arm, you see? And I stand there and round after round after round, I'm just waiting for those move. Ribs gotta move. You sense it.
Do you even see it in a high professional level? Like someone could be really helped, or by then they've already included that in their dancing?
They would, depending on the level, it would already be part of it. It would be part of it.
Because otherwise, just for you, they would have a stamina problem, right? If they weren't breathing properly.
Yes, and I'm using the terminology of breath. I'm approaching it that way. The whole thing can be summed up as well. It's all about preparation to release. Every preparation is followed by release. And so they could do it on a physical level, through the muscles, right? And I'm just doing it through breath. But they all support each other. This whole idea supports itself.
Sure. I can see that.
So, you're talking about literally breath, but also the body. Like when it's just like, give it some breath there.
Yes.
Okay, so define that for someone that maybe is not a dancer.
Well, we can watch people move. We see people moving. They move their legs. They move their arms. And we have some terrific movers here in this industry. We have great movers.
I like the way she said that.
The ones who integrate breath and are better dancers, you see it because if you can cut out the arms, because you see the torso. You see what's happening with the torso. You see the way there's rotation around the spine. You see undulation. Let me use that word. And your eye just goes right to it. And it even if it's subtle, you can sense when the person is about to breathe or about to say something. There's this movement, right? And movers don't do that.
So it helps to create artistry, right? The breath. The artistry,
yes.
Because you say movers. One of our podcasts said they're out there exercising.
Yes, they are.
Moving their legs and moving their arms.
Yeah,
they're exercising.
They're exercising. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to bring that artistry.
And because there is a degree of subtlety to it, I think that competitors discount it. Oh no, it's got to be big. People got to see it, and they get like today. I had to say to the people about the cha-cha. I said, please don't spend your time and energy showing me every 4 and or 2 and. I mean, I get it. If you're up on 3, just hurry up and get over the 1. We don't need to see each and every step right? Because it's such hard work, and that is not the skill of a great dancer or a great performer. It takes a lot of work to get to your greatness, and the skill is making it look so simple and easy.
Yes.
And they want to go pow, 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 puff, 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 puff. Watch me work. And it's like, you know what? I'm not interested in watching you work. There's nothing beautiful there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah. So I did the first session today on breath, and the second one was on partnering. And what I really tried to do in the second one was make women aware of they need to be participating and contributing, not simply following in a passive manner. Because the word follow often implies being passive, and this is the worst thing. The women need to really know one of my teachers was Walter Laird, and he kind of wrote the book that we all follow, and he always said that leaders have 3 things to do, but followers have 3 different tasks to follow. And the 3 tasks for the women is to stay on time, stay in motion, and be beautiful, because women are like beautiful pictures, which already implies there's an activity and energy in being the follower.
Sure, you have to contribute.
And
it's a very active role.
It is. And it's so necessary to the partnership.
Otherwise you just have like a blow-up doll that you're out there.
Right? So, unfortunately, without understanding that criteria, I think many women who come into the dance world we receive these messages of following equals be passive, or don't be too active, right? Because we get told, wait, stop, hold it, don't do that, don't go. So suddenly it's like,
I hear that.
Right? But this is unfortunately, it's not what is meant.
Okay.
What is meant
I understand what you're
is
saying.
stay in your body, keep the energy alive. Even if I can still be quote unquote dancing, even if I'm not moving my feet, right? The body can still be, here comes that word, undulating. Undulating. But there's a sense of preparation, even if it's preparation to move. I don't have to just move, right? So it's so subtle, and it forces. This was a comment these were a few comments that I heard in the class, was when they said, "Oh, I have to be so present. I have to be so in this bubble, paying attention to my partner." And I thought, yes, you do. I know, and it should be fun and enjoyable.
It should be fun.
And they were surprised. They were surprised at. I really have to be here and in it.
Yes.
Like, yes, absolutely. Because then that brings up the question. So then, if you're not here
and
where
are you?
Where are you? Well, I was thinking about what I should do. It's like wrong, huh?
Interesting you said that, because we were talking with Victor and Anastasia, and they said they're taking leading and following totally out of their dancing.
Mm-hmm. That's right, because it's this continual. It's a continuum. It's just
Conversation.
energy.
It's conversation.
It is. It's an energetic. It's just we exchange energy constantly, because there is it's like chicken or the egg. Is it that the man really leads, or is it that he feeds off of what the woman has started? Even Victor and Anastasia are in the ballroom, but it's the same thing in the Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It's the same thing in this movement. Any of the movement forms, or partnering forms, I would say.
Partner forms, yes.
And it's fun when you have that. Yes.
Yeah, it takes, but the mind has to be open to all areas of it, being big movements, small movements, subtle, internalize, make it external, make it internal, and I just approached it today to try and put people in their body, get them out of their head, put them into the body, and do the dancing, not thinking.
That seems to be the great ones, as I call them, because again, I'm the non-dancer in the room. The emerging. Yes, I have to.
You are
emerging dancing here.
Words are important.
But no, it's you get these people and they're telling it's the common theme. It's like, hey, listen, yes, you have to think about what you're doing, have all that thing, but when you get out on the dance floor, it's get out of your head. Just do it. Experience what you've all that practice that you've been doing. Now it's time to go out and show everybody. Mm-hmm. Get out of your head. Just do it.
And people have a hard time doing that now, and I think it's because they don't practice enough. They take tons of lessons, but they don't actually do, because you see, if the lesson is purely with the mouth closed and the body, right, then it could be helpful. But all these lessons, there has to be a time where you apply the information.
Sure.
We used to call that practice. So, right, I don't know what practice is now. Unless there's a time and a location where it's,
Practicing is becoming so, I feel like what happened was that, excellent dancers like you practiced, you put the time in, and then I feel like there was like a shift, and then it started being lessons, and lessons are great, students.
You need lessons.
But practicing, and so now priority is so much more on that again. Do you feel like it happened like that? Kind of had that.
Well, when I was younger and I was learning, my teacher had said for every one lesson there should be 8 hours of practice.
Oh,
wow!
That's
so there was
okay.
a ratio there.
Yeah, I don't know if people talk about that.
Of course they don't. They don't because it's like, what? I don't have 8 hours to practice. I could have taken 6 lessons, or something.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
see, but there has been increasingly a belief that I need more lessons. And from that approach, a dance teacher is then put in the position of, oh, I better say something, I better do something, I better tell them, I better teach them something, I better have something to say, and right. So there's this kind of I find it's an unspoken expectation. Somebody says, oh, I want to have a lesson with you, and the truth is they should not be having a lesson, they should be practicing. However, it's like, oh, well, that's an opportunity for me to earn money, and I guess I could tell them about this. You see, so it gets kind of complicated.
Yes, it does.
It gets complicated. So you have to be willing to say, I'm not giving you any lessons until you go and practice what I just taught you. Or you.
Yeah, I can give you a theory, but you have to put it into
See?
practice.
Makes the
There's that
next
word
lessons.
Yes, they have to. Yeah.
again. There's that word again.
What's that?
Where you-
Practice.
Yeah,
Practice.
I give you the theory, but you still have to put it into practice. Yeah.
And okay, on the side of a pro-am, you could say, well, how are they supposed to practice? Well,
Give them things to practice.
teacher needs to have topics. I mean, there's many ways to go about it, but there are drills, there are certain things that could be done. Of course, there are certain things that could be done that they could actually do on their own. And yeah, the pro-am system is slightly different than the traditional couple partnership setup. But I think if the teacher is clever about it, they could actually create a program for the student. Okay, you're going to do this many hours of technical work. I need you to practice your footwork, your weight transference, the sway if they're doing smooth or standard. I need you to practice extension or timing or musicality. They can go either in the mechanical realm or in the creative arena, and people can still do things on their own.
Sure they can.
And they can, and then they can have topics that they do on their own, so that every lesson then starts to build on top of that.
In part, and that this adds to fun, because when fun can be accomplishing something, and then when the student is accomplishing something because they put the practice time in, then the next time they have a lesson. I mean, I just think of
progress.
this.
They have to progress. They have to get better. I mean, we watch a lot of people who are out there dancing, and sometimes they're just not getting better, and then you wonder.
Just a bunch of movers.
But they're taking a lot of lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, and you wonder, well, is it? I mean, granted, some people have more talent than others. Some people, granted, there are some people who physically are just they have limits to what they can do from injury or something. But for those people who are
Able,
yeah, you would want there is a way to help them get more out of this whole dance experience. I think. I think so.
Excellent point.
Very good point. And on that note, we're going to let you go out and get rested, because I believe you still have some judging to do this evening.
I do.
You do.
It's a long night.
It is a long night.
I hope you see some really good breath out there.
Right, keep an eye on those rib cage.
Good breathers.
I know.
And
Keep my eye on
artistry.
those rib cage.
Miss Nadia, very. I'm happy that you showed up. Thank you for being here.
We appreciate you
thank you
so
so
much.
And certainly the breath now. I'll be cognizant of that. Make sure my rib cage moves.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. The lovely May.
Thank you so much, and thank you once again for your time. Very informative excellent.
Thank you.
And a good bid on the dogs, is by the way.
Yes.
dogs.
Thanks, dogs. All right.
All right, folks. Well, this has been another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. Thank you for
you.
watching.